Bro, how many times have we eaten snooze together?
Ooh, we have eaten at least a couple times. I want to say two or
Yeah.
three.
All
Yeah.
right. I got a snooze story.
Okay.
Okay. So the other day I went to snooze here in the tech center with a friend of mine.
Okay.
And we're sitting there and there's a table really close to us, like at that location that's kind of packed in, right? So these two ladies are sitting next to us and they pray before breakfast. And it's like, all right, cool. And I mean, if we were paying attention, we could hear their conversation, but we're not. We're locked in. Like we're doing
Sure.
some work, right? So we get up to leave and I'm like almost late for coaching. I got to get back to the office.
Okay.
And the lady next to me looks up at me and she's like, I'm so sorry. I love your voice. I am obsessed with it.
Nice.
And I sat right back down. It did not matter that I was about to be late. I'm like, tell me more. It was like my favorite thing because
Nice.
I hate my voice. Like it's a nightmare.
Now you can just do filters, right? You just do a filter over the top and make you sound amazing.
There's no filter that's going to make this sound good, except for that one lady.
There you go.
That I need to hang out with her all the time.
Maybe it was her ears.
Yeah, she's got messed up ears. That's right. All right, you ready to go?
I am.
All right,
Let's do this.
Let's go. All right, music's playing.
Oh boy,
it's happening.
What kind of music did you put for me? Is this like basketball jam music? Like
it's just a hype beat. It's nice.
Okay.
It's pleasant. People are enjoying it right now. Speaking of which, hey, welcome to the Gapcast. My name is Jim Barnard. I'm your host, and we're doing this thing with me today. I'm very excited. Guys, I have a thing that I do here. It's the one, it's the only Scott Hanson. I felt like I didn't do it as well as I normally do.
You rushed it.
I did rush it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try again.
Yeah.
Scott Hanson.
I like it.
Nailed it. Let's go.
He makes me feel awkward every time he does it, but it's a thing. So
yeah.
okay.
I love this so much. Okay, Scott, we're going to come out hot here. People probably don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. We have real conversations here.
Mm-hmm.
You are a client, a friend of Tiller.
I am.
That's cool. You're the first one to pop up on the podcast. That's amazing.
It's either really good or really bad. I'm not sure which.
Well, the most impressive part of it is that you don't even live in Colorado.
It's true.
Like you traveled a long way to get here. Where in the world do you live?
Bozeman, Montana.
Oh, the good land. That's amazing. I love Bozeman so much. I could live there. I've always said I could never live in a place that didn't have pro sports, because I lived the Nug life.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I could live in Bozeman. It's amazing.
MSU's got you. It's good.
Yeah. Maybe Anderson will go to MSU. That would be fun.
There we go.
There's a building there called Barnard Hall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard it.
Yeah. So
nice.
Go and get our picture and whatnot.
Perfect.
All right, Scott Hanson, what in the world are you doing in Colorado? Did you just come for the podcast?
I wish.
Okay.
It would be worth it, but unfortunately not.
I love you.
I'm here for work. Yeah.
Okay.
Here for work.
Yeah.
I work remotely, have for a number of years, and the office is downtown Denver. So yeah, a couple times a year you get to come down and make the most of it. So here I am.
Yes, giddy up. All right. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Two birds, 1 scone, I think is the term we use now.
You're
feeding 2 birds with 1 scone.
Oh my gosh, did we get that PC?
Yeah.
The stone was too violent.
We don't want to be violent anymore. So.
Yeah. Okay. I respect that. Scott, how did you get connected with a weird coach in Denver, Colorado?
How did I get connected? That's a good question. So, let's see. Shoot, my emotional journey goes back way far, but we got connected through a mutual pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pastor at my church was doing a coaching, counseling type of thing. And so I reached out to him and told him a little bit about my story. And he said, I got just the guy for you. And it turns out that was probably the wisest thing he could have said, because now looking back on it, our stories aligned so well that it definitely was a God thing, because if I had met with that pastor, I don't think we would have gone well.
Yeah.
We're very different. So, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit different, just a wee bit. I mean, I absolutely adore Brian. We can say his name.
Okay.
He's a friend of the coaching ministry. Brian's the greatest, but yeah, if he was gonna be your guy, like, I don't know. I don't know how it would have worked, but I know that we've worked famously well.
Yep.
Like, otherwise you would have quit me a long time ago.
It's true. That's true.
I've given you reasons.
It's
Okay,
true.
let's just say it that way. Scott, I need to know this. I know I can be a little lighthearted, a little goofy, a little shoot from the hip. But even though I'm duck praying, like, okay, like God will give me some latitude to like just kind of keep things loose, right?
Yep.
How many times have I deeply offended you? I just need to know off the bat.
Oh, so many.
So many.
So many.
Oh.
But honestly, I think that's one of the things that's endearing, because I think you and I have very similar situations, but we have very different personalities. And it's been a really good growing experience over the years to share the same situations and the same emotional challenges from a very different lens.
Sure.
And that's been really healthy. So yeah, I think there's plenty of times where you've made me blush and made me get the chills and be a little awkward, but I think it's been a really good thing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes me feel better. Like I was feeling a little bad there that I don't want to offend people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not good.
Always bad though. You know, some people need to be offended a little bit, shake up their world.
All right, I love it.
It's been good.
All right, well, I'll do it more.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's feels
like a new goal. All right, you've alluded to it a few times that we've got some similarities. Honestly, we are very different in a lot of ways, but I don't know. Like, I guess I could say it, but I'm here to feature you, man. Like, we want to hear your story. Really,
Sure.
This is all about overcoming the expectation gap, and I kind of had this unofficial like tagline of the podcast that I told you about, and you're like, "No, I hate it." But I've said it every time so far. So I'm going to say it again. This is the most authentic corner of the internet. So that's what we're going to do here today.
Right.
You're in this corner of the internet. I hope you can be authentic.
But there's not a corner.
That's a good point. I made it a rounded edge. It's the corner of the internet, not the corner of the room.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. So what's the similarity there, Scott?
So the similarity has been the expectation gap, which I got to say I appreciate, because I didn't really understand or recognize that it was an expectation gap until we talked about it. But we both have challenges in that our wives have physical limitations and challenges. Both of our wives are type A, super smart, super go get 'em, but they're limited in their physical ways. And so, yeah, without going into too much detail, I think there's been a lot of shared experience there where we care deeply for our wives and want them to thrive and succeed in our marriages.
Yeah.
But there's an elephant in the room, and it's been a pretty obvious and challenging one.
Yeah.
And that's something, we got married in 2001. And so we're coming up on 25 years. And
wow. Congrats.
We've learned a lot in 25 years. Yeah. It was a rough go there in the beginning. And it's taken a lot of years of healing on my part personally.
Yeah.
And then to meet you where you're at and be able to share that journey has been really cool.
Yeah. So I sort of famously, got married, and then 3 months later, Alicia got sick.
Okay.
It wasn't very long. And I know that the illnesses are different, and we're not really going to get into that. It just doesn't really necessarily benefit the conversation, but
it was very similar. Yeah. It was post-marriage.
Okay. How long?
We got married, and it was probably a month or two after that she got really sick. Yeah. So we're very similar.
Yeah. I mean, like, being young men who probably are like, okay, we're like, we probably haven't been like dreaming of our weddings, like, our wives were like since a little girl or whatever. But I know I had a lot of anticipation for what marriage was going to be, and I'm certain that you did as well. And
it's interesting that you phrase it that way.
Ooh.
I don't know that I would have had anticipation, but I had a lot of expectations.
Ooh.
Which I think is the point,
yes.
right? I had a lot of expectations of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to expect, but I think I had a lot of notions or assumptions of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what came crashing down.
Yeah, no, I can so relate with that. And that's hard. Like, uh, for me, it's like, did I even get to live in what I expected? I did. Like, it's almost hard to remember. It just happened so quick. And then what?
Yeah. Well, and for me, I think maybe extrapolating a little bit, it wasn't necessarily that I missed out on what I wanted or what I expected. It's that I had so far to grow in my own maturity and growth
Mm-hmm.
that what I wanted wasn't even authentic or right anyway.
Mm.
And so I think I've thought about this a lot, and we've talked about it a little bit in our sessions about while my wife has had physical challenges that have shaped a lot of our journey, I've had a lot of emotional challenges that have shaped our journey.
Yeah.
And we've both had to work through our individual challenges along the way. So
Yeah.
while it may not have met what I assumed or what I thought was the right answer,
Yeah.
that assumption was wrong to begin with. So, I had to work through that anyway.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Every guy that gets married, if there's going to be expectations and there's just going to be gaps,
Yep.
like maybe ours are arguably bigger, but I mean, it's hard to know. We haven't lived that life. We haven't had that experience. We've just had what we've had, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think another similarity in our story is that not just having wives that have physical health problems. I can say this for my wife. She's really smart. She's really capable. She's an A-type personality. And I think your wife is as well.
Oh yeah. She's amazing. Yeah. She would definitely be a COO if that were socially acceptable or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to watch her. She inspires me to be a better person all the time. And I have this corporate job and I do all these fancy things, and I'm like, if I could live up to my wife's standards, like, wow, that would be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Holy cow, man. To think of like what Alicia could have been, you're saying that Jenny would have been a COO, like, man, we could have had like wives that would have dominated the world, honestly.
Yeah. But I wonder if that's part of God's vision, though, is that's a reality that I don't think was ever in the cards for them, but I don't think it was in the cards for us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I would have been the best I could be if that's who she turned out to be.
Yeah.
God knew what we needed for each other.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's one more similarity. Honestly, we kind of have to just quickly get into it because I think it ties into what you just said. I think we had some unideal, like, growing up experiences.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't even know how to frame it. I'm not trying to, like, put my parents on blast or anything, but, like, just maybe more complicated. I don't know if controlling's the right way to say it, but, like, just things that maybe didn't really, like, prepare us fully for adulthood.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say it wasn't necessarily any one source.
Yeah.
But I did not grow up equipped for the emotional adult world that I needed to be equipped for.
That's it. Yes. Yeah, I spent like a number of years in like late elementary, really more middle school, almost going into high school, where I just was emotionally completely unavailable.
Yep.
I was, I don't know if I've ever shared this on a Tiller tip or not. I'm not shy about it, but I was a selective mute for a number of years.
Oh, really?
Because I was so emotionally shut down. My parents had gotten divorced and just things were a little too chaotic for me. There was grief and I didn't know how to handle it. I knew I hated the emotions that existed inside of me, but I didn't know how to communicate it. I didn't want anyone to know, so just nothing.
Gotcha.
That's a hard thing to come back from.
Yeah. For me, it was my version of that was I had a terrible temper in junior high. I would lash out at the smallest little things. Looking back on it, obviously it was unresolved issues elsewhere. It had nothing to do with school, but I remember praying about that and be like, God, help me with my temper. Like, I couldn't see where it was coming from. And he did. I became the sweetest, kindest, quietest like guy, but I was emotionally gone. And that's the way that I flipped.
Yeah.
And so then I became like this completely passive, emotionless person.
Yeah. So you sought God on that.
I did. and was interesting because he answered my prayer, but in a way that I could handle at the moment.
Yeah.
He didn't unravel all the issues and show me the depth of my issues and like work. I was in junior high. I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
So I had a temporary solution.
Mm.
And that lasted me through junior high and high school,
Yeah.
and into college. But there was a lot of work yet to be done.
Yeah, for sure. How old were you when you got married?
Just out of college. So
Dang.
20, 21, whatever it was right then. My anniversary is right around my birthday, so it's hard to remember which.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I have to do the math every time. It's, yeah.
You pull out an abacus and figure it out. That's great. Okay, so it's pretty clear that you weren't prepared for marriage. And quite literally, no one actually is. But probably in some real ways, especially when Jenny got sick, you were like gripped with this concept. I think this is fair to say that like you knew you were not prepared for this.
That's even too generous.
Oh.
It was unknown unknowns.
Mm.
It wasn't known unknowns. It's not like I was like, wow, this is big, I'm not prepared. It's like, huh, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know I had an expectation. I was so lost in my own like issues that I didn't even recognize the gap. Because I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't even know myself yet.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I was so not ready. It's laughable. I look back on that. God knew that like, he knew that my wife and I would grow together and that our marriage would thrive. But if either of us met the other person now, we'd like run screaming. Like, no way. Yeah. So the fact that we both grew was like God's grace for sure.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott, you have one story in your story that I love more than all the rest. It is stuck in my mind for years. I mean, I will never forget this. I don't even have to set it up. Like, you know what I'm talking about. We've referenced it too many times for you to be fuzzy about this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like, describe this maybe unpreparedness. I believe you were maybe in college.
So the title of the story is A Box of Crackers. That's the title of it, which is funny. So in part of my growing up and my journey was I did not have the confidence to be myself, to have opinions, to proactively do anything for myself.
Yeah.
So like sports camps and activities and, electives and all the stuff. It was always my parents saying, hey, would you like to do this? This sounds fun. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
But I got a car when I was 16. It never occurred to me to go anywhere but to just drive home from school.
Like that was all you were allowed to do.
Ever did.
Yeah.
And my parents never gave me a guideline, but I genuinely didn't recognize that I had the authority and the freedom to be autonomous. So I only did what was in front of me and like what the expectations were. Well, the way this played out was I went to Westmont College in Santa Barbara, small Christian college, a couple thousand people, super small from a college perspective. But I'm coming from a very sheltered, very like small world. So to me, it was huge. Yeah. To me, it was like amazing. Like I'm sleeping in a place where my parents don't know what I'm doing. Like I don't even know what to do with this kind of freedom.
Yeah.
So that was really weird. But through the course of a couple years there, I started to recognize the freedom that was in front of me. I don't know if I would necessarily call it growing up necessarily, but it was just, wrestling with this new reality. Yeah. Well, there was a shuttle that the college provided that would go from the school down to the beach because it was Santa Barbara. It was close to the beach.
Terrific. Yes.
And a couple stops, downtown and the mall and whatever. Well, at some point, and this is the whole point of the story, is at some point a light bulb went on. I'm like, hey, I could like go down and I could like buy myself stuff and I could then take the shuttle back home. And like, I could choose to do that of my own free will. And like, I don't know. I don't even know what that would look like. I don't even know what I would want, Yeah. So for some cosmic collection of things that God provided, I got on the shuttle, went down to the store, and I wandered the store for probably an hour. And I'm like, what would it look like for me to actually buy something on my own? Like, this had never occurred to me.
Yeah.
Now, this is embarrassing. I'm a college-age kid, and this is, like, novel to me. And I settled on a box of crackers. I was like, I want a box of crackers. So I bought a single box of crackers for $5, and that was it. I got on the shuttle and went back to my dorm, and I ate a box of crackers because I chose them.
You did it.
And that was
Yes.
life-altering for
Yeah.
me. Emotionally and, like, psychologically, I had never done that before. It wasn't until my college years did I actually have the wherewithal to buy a box of crackers.
Unbelievable. I love you so much. It's such a great story because I think we can all relate with it, right? Like maybe that's a little late for a lot of us. I mean, I'm not trying to insult you, obviously. You're my guy, dude. But like you were figuring it out, you know, like you got confronted with the reality that you actually had the freedom. You had it for a long time.
Right.
But like, here we go. Like we're going to like take this step into adulting. And a box of crackers seems like a far way from real adulting.
Yeah.
But
it was something. It was a first step.
It really was. Okay, so what was the brand? What kind of crackers?
Wheat Thins. Definitely Wheat Thins.
Oh, Scott.
Yeah.
Those are objectively the worst crackers.
I love them. I absolutely love Wheat Thins. Yeah.
Okay, maybe Triscuits. I had to like think about it.
Triscuits, yeah, no. But Wheat Thins, always my favorite growing up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were never around my house. So it was always a special thing.
Yeah.
Go to somebody else's house or something and they had them.
Oh, man. So do you think that you enjoyed those crackers, that they like tasted even better somehow?
I still remember the flavor of the Ritz crack or the Wheat Thins in my dorm room. Like that was such a profound memory to me. I have every sensory memory of every moment of that incident. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure I asked this question like when we first started meeting and you shared this part of your story. Did it open the floodgates? I just don't remember. Like, was it like, I'm buying all the crackers? I mean, obviously you branched out.
It did. It did. I started going downtown and like wandering around. I would go to the normal store. I started acting normal in that way, like going to restaurants, going to places and whatever, all spontaneously. I had never done that in my life. And that sort of opened that new season for me. Of course, there's the pendulum issue, which, swings the other way. And so then I got into plenty of mischief in college because suddenly I'm exploring all this new freedom. And I didn't have any sort of self boundaries yet because I hadn't explored that.
Yeah.
I would think kids normally get that in elementary school or even earlier, whatever. But for me, it was college, which was a little dangerous being so late in life. But I had to learn through it.
Yeah. Okay. Mischief. That sounds mysterious. We'll leave that alone.
Yeah, we'll touch that later. Yeah.
So like an individual session. Yeah. Okay.
I can say that I explored the realm of college. What do they call that? Like practical what do they call pranks? College pranks?
Oh, yeah.
A whole slew of those.
Okay.
Because my world opened up and I was like, ooh, what else could I do? And that got interesting. So
okay.
We'll have to cover that sometime.
I'm picturing you as like this low-key Johnny Knoxville.
I don't know.
You're like, I don't know who that is.
Don't know the reference.
All right. Yeah. Well, we missed it. That's fine. So, all right, Scott. So you, within 4 years of discovering crackers, you get married.
Can you imagine going from crackers to marriage in 4 years? That's ridiculous.
That's actually a powerful imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so a premise here is that no one is prepared for marriage. Preparedness is a myth. And it's not just marriage, right? It's parenting, it's career, it's grief and suffering. It is evangelism and discipleship. I mean, there's probably even a bigger list, but that's my core that I talk about constantly. And so, like, gosh, you going from crackers to marriage so quickly feels heroic, scary. Somewhere in between there.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. It was the right answer. It was what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that kind of bleeds into the second story, if you're cool with me transitioning to that, was
you're a pro. Let's do it.
When we got married, I had my parents are married. They've been married for, 50 years or whatever. And so I had plenty of good examples in that way. But what I learned was what the right answer was. I learned what the right expectations were or whatnot. So the first couple of years of marriage, I did all the right things. I did all the things that I knew someone was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Didn't work out so well.
Hmm.
Between Jenny's health doing what it did, and then me fighting against still discovering who I am,
Yeah.
but yet trying to live out this, you should kind of things for marriage,
Hmm.
realized I really started getting bitter and frustrated and like, what are we doing here? Like, this isn't at all what I thought it would be. And I think that's where, looking back on it, that's where the expectation gap started.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is thinking about that, and we've worked through this a little bit, is that my expectations were immature.
Yep.
As well as the reality not meeting so it's wrong on both sides,
Yeah.
which creates a much worse gap. Well, in my case, we hadn't met by then, but I had a coach or counselor at some point. I forget who it was. I was talking to about this frustration, this bitterness in marriage, and how rough this was, and I was saying I'm doing all the things, and it just doesn't seem to be mattering. And that person who was counseling me was like, "What if you just stopped? What if you just didn't?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I don't even know what that would look like." And it's like, "Well, what if you actually showed up authentically to who you are?" And I'm like, "I don't know who that is." And they're like, "Yeah, that's the point."
Yeah.
Like, then that's that much more like you need to go on this journey, because I wasn't authentically showing up for my wife because I didn't even know who that was. I hadn't gotten there yet. So one of the things that started was I just did an experiment for a whole month. Instead of going down and doing the chores and just diving in, I just sat down on the kitchen table or at the kitchen table and talked to my wife while she did the chores.
Yeah.
And I didn't do a thing. I just didn't lift a finger.
Hmm.
And I did it very consciously as an experiment, but she didn't know. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So after a month, I'm like, this is super weird. I don't feel like I'm helping at all. Like, I feel like I'm being a terrible husband.
Yeah. You're dropping balls.
Yeah, all over the place. Like, I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so after a month, I asked her one day she's in the kitchen or whatever, and I'm like, "Hey, just out of curiosity, like, how have things been last month? Like, how's it feel to you?" And it was awesome, the answer I got. She's like, "Oh, it's been wonderful. I feel like you've been so much more here, like connected. I feel like we've talked so much better, and I feel like you're emotionally connected, and you're present, and we've been, so much more together." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I don't even understand what you mean by that. Like, I don't get this. Like, I'm like, this was an experiment, and I have no idea what we just learned."
Yeah.
So it began a journey of like, let's talk about what just happened here.
Yeah.
And so I wrote down a list of all the things that I chose to do because I thought she wanted them, or it was the right thing to do.
Totally.
And then I wrote a list down of what I see her doing for me that I really appreciate. Like, let's do a comparison. Like, what are we doing for each other in marriage? Like, how are we showing up? How are we showing love? All these things. So I wrote both lists. And my counselor was like, you got to have her write the list too. So she wrote both lists. What does she think I'm doing that she appreciates?
Yeah.
And what is she doing that she thinks I care about?
Yeah.
So we had these dueling lists, and we sat down and we compared lists.
Yeah.
They were so wrong. Like 90% of the things I was doing on my list, she didn't even notice. Or if she did notice, she didn't care at all. And I was like, you mean for the last couple of years, I've been working all these things because these are the right things to do.
Yeah.
She didn't care at all. She didn't care at all. And then the same, like the list she was doing, it was better. It was healthier, but it's still like a third of the list. She was doing all these things. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Really don't care. Like, if you stop those today, I wouldn't even notice.
Interesting.
And that started a really good conversation about authenticity and showing up for who we were in marriage.
Yeah.
Because she then was able to highlight the things that she saw in me, or the thing that she needed from me that I hadn't even thought about.
Yeah.
So in some ways, she helped me to find my authentic self, which was really cool.
That's so cool. And honestly, I can only imagine that as you are locking into the chores and the things, all the shoulds, you were shoulding all over yourself. I said
Right?
should,
Yeah.
shoulding.
We use that shoulding on each other.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a
Gotta
thing.
say it slow though. Okay. But you were doing that actively, but that was preventing you from having a presence.
Right.
You just
Yep.
were not present
Mm-mm.
in your home with your wife. You
Yep.
know, we talk about witness with God, but witness is with other people. And you're just trying to like please her.
Mhm.
And that, I mean, that's great. Like,
Well, that was
serving
the
people's
problem,
great,
is
but
it looked good on the outside
yeah,
because I was doing all the serving, but it was terrible. It wasn't working.
yeah. I think if I'm like hearing it all correctly, you were able to find presence, which then brought pleasure. How about that? That's some alliteration.
It did, but that was a long journey.
Yeah.
To connect that from one to the other. Alliteration, sure, but you gotta fit 5 more words in there. I don't know if you can figure that one out.
Okay, give me a moment. Give me a moment. I can do it.
But it was probably 20 years. 20 years of emotional journey for me, and I would say in the last since we've been working together, things have really opened up and changed because you've helped me see that progress incrementally, and we've been able to, okay, what's next? How do we break the next barrier? How do we learn the next thing? How do we show up in new ways? And that's been huge the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, I think you showed a lot of courage. Okay. I know that this was, you know, whatever other counselor or coach, and, you know, they might not be me, but they did a good job.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
But you had to demonstrate courage to like communicate, and you know, I mean, you had this like month-long experiment. Cool, I love it, but ultimately it didn't rely on the experiment, it relied on the communication.
Right.
And communication can be really hard. um Now, working with you, you know, I want to be tender. I want to be gentle here. I don't want to reveal all the things.
Yeah.
We've got a covenant statement that I'm not going to just reveal all of it, but I think it's safe to say that you have continued to struggle to advocate for yourself. Right? Is that okay? Did I do something wrong?
No. That's safe. I think
Okay, good.
I think it's that you've revealed in me a long-term habitual pattern of behavior about not advocating for myself.
Yeah.
And it's come out in little bits and layers, but it continues to be a thread. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that you've changed your perspective, and I've been inspired by it. Okay. Like,
Cool.
I said it. I feel good about it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure. I think with our shared challenges, I think there's been a real opportunity to grow together in that I can reflect my reality to you knowing that you get it, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
I think there's been a few times where we've come to sort of realizations, and it's like both of us have been like, wow, that's good for both of us today.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
Absolutely. All right, Scott, let's do this, because you know, I've done almost 100 tiller tips. I've
Wow.
done these recordings, and I should have done one today, but I didn't. I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. No big deal. Okay. But these are all things that come out of real coaching. So some of the tiller tips have come out of conversations that we've had, and obviously I've reiterated with other people. Has there been one particular coaching bit that has spoken to you and like challenged you the most?
Well,
okay, I'm putting you on the spot now.
Yeah, I know. I could do a cop out. I think honestly, the one you mentioned earlier, showing up, witness, authenticity, those things have been really powerful in our journey together. So I don't know exactly which tips those have shown up as, but that's been a theme we've hit multiple times. And it takes multiple times to get through those. So it's not just one and done. And
Of course.
I look forward to going back through the tips again and, you know, pulling out their truths, multiple layers, because it's a continued thing. But yeah, there's been a lot.
Okay.
Been a lot.
I love that.
Yeah.
One that I particularly love that hasn't actually been a tiller tip.
Okay.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a theme that I've talked about. I adapted it because, you know, when we started 3 years ago, the nuggets were like all I could think about.
Right. Yes.
And
Yeah.
you work for a sponsor of the Nuggets. We'll keep it anonymous, but yeah, it really was all about celebration,
That's
right?
right.
It was all
Yes.
about a mindset and choosing something different. And
Yeah, and my tendency is to be depressive.
yeah.
So you brought up the celebration and the practicing the Christian disciplines of celebration of
Mm.
what God has done and things that we're winning in. And yeah, I think it was during the time that they were going to the championship and all that stuff. So you're like, it's the Nug life, man. You got to live the Nug life. And
The Nug
it's awesome.
life.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, partly because I really didn't have any association with basketball. So for me, it was like, if this is all it means
Yeah.
is this personal journey of celebrating the wins that God's doing through the work we're doing together. And so yeah, you sent me that shirt and that was pretty cool. The Nug
Yeah.
Life shirt.
I love
really
it.
appreciate that.
Well, and then you returned serve and you sent me a jersey with
That's right.
your
Yes.
sponsor patch and all
My
that.
company
Yeah.
had a jersey giveaway thing, and so I was able to get you one. That was fun.
Dude, delightful. I loved it so much. I should have worn it today. What's my problem?
I know.
You should have wore your shirt
I should have worn my
today.
shirt. Yeah, I thought about it.
So baked into the Nug life, this conversation about celebration is, man, it is so easy to take ourselves too seriously. And I think the story of what you're talking about early on with Jenny and like, kind of abandoning these chores, like thinking you had to do it and locked in and in it to win it. It's so easy to take ourselves too seriously.
Yep.
I think when we're stuck in a big expectation gap, when we're experiencing suffering, when things hurt, when it's just hard, we look inward and like, oh, woe is me. This is like so hard, but that's not a winning mentality.
I'll give you another use case, another situation, how this hits me differently is I defined myself and my value based on that seriousness.
Yeah. Ooh.
So if I let that go, what's left? Who am I?
Dang,
That
there's
was
nothing
part of
left.
the journey for me.
Yeah.
So being able to let go of that seriousness and have the confidence and the trust that God values me intrinsically,
Yeah.
not for the seriousness.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Like that was a whole thing. We had to go through that because without that, like I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And that was big. I remember we went through that. That took a while to unravel that because there was a lot of growing up hurts and some unhealthy definitions and stuff behind that.
Yeah. Yes. To engage celebration is how we learn to not take ourselves too seriously. And, the hype was like, oh, that's the Nug life. Like, let's be in it to win it. Like, I think just celebration is so important for the rest of the spiritual disciplines to have like true meaning, true life.
Well, yeah, then you're doing it out of relationship. It's in response to, as opposed to what my definition was, earning. It was all, well, I got to do all these things because that's where my value comes from. And it's like, I had it all backwards. There's no celebration in that.
Yeah.
And so that's taken a while. And there's still areas of my life that like, I will approach it just on autopilot, on default. And I'm like, well, obviously this is just what we do because that's the right thing. And it makes me think, it makes me check. Wait a minute. That's not actually true. That's my growing up tapes. Like I got to let go of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's hitting me now that over the 3 years that we've been hanging out and having good times, good laughs, and good coaching, you've assumed a new role in your life. I mean, obviously, you're a husband, you're a father, you're an employee, you're a boss, but I don't know if you feel where I'm going, but you've taken on a leadership role in your life that is actually quite impressive. Okay, and we're going to build a bridge to it, but like, what is that role?
So I'm now the head teaching leader of Bible Study Fellowship in our Bozeman men's class, the chapter that's up there.
BSF, baby.
BSF.
Yeah.
I've been exposed to it all my life, but moving up there and through the work we've done, God's prepared me to be the head teaching leader. So yeah, I give the equivalent of a half-hour sermon every week for the school year. and I've done it for 3 years now.
Dang.
Yeah.
And you just got through a really, can I say hard? Can I say challenging string of lessons? What was this year's?
It's called People of the Promised Land. So the history of Israel.
Yeah.
Kingdom Divided. No, excuse me. Kingdom Reunited.
Yeah.
So it was about the time of Israel from exile to the silent years. So it's that period of coming back into the land. So it's hitting all the Old Testament prophets and some of the stories, and Nehemiah building the wall, and Esther and Daniel and all them in exile and all that stuff. Not easy. Yeah.
No, that's not light. That's like, even just to consume it, that can get pretty like overwhelming, but then you got to turn around and teach it to other people. And obviously BSF is going to give you help and resources. But, the bridge that I want to build here is that, I don't know what BSF, being a teaching leader, what that would have been like if you weren't able to engage celebration, if you couldn't live the nug life in it, because it would have been a place to excel and a place to perform. But like, you've got to engage a lot of spiritual disciplines, like not just Bible study, in order to do this gig well. Right? Yeah. So like, how dry of a season would that have been? I mean, I know there's been challenges. It's not easy.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think that you've excelled in this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's neat to look back on it and realize I am showing up authentically, emotionally, in ways that I never could have in the past. And only because of God's healing me and the journey I've been through am I now able to show up in ways that my audience needs. Our class is only 40 people. It's not huge, but those guys really connect, and this is my opportunity to be that conduit of God's love to them. And I'm so grateful to be able to be that because of the work God's done in me.
I love that, man. I love you. That's so great. I just think that like, every time that like we're stuck in a gap, okay, doesn't matter how big the gap is, there's several ways to like overcome. I think one of the best is to serve others, right? It takes the focus off of ourselves, puts it onto others. And you've done that, right? Now there's a caveat that like I do that's a little bit more unique in Tiller coaching, that I am truly serving through my expectation gap. Like, I am using my story all the time. I'm using this experience, and like with BSF, you've got some opportunity to do that, but it's not clearly the focal point, right? But you're still doing it. You're serving others, and I've seen how that has helped you in your gap.
Yeah, it's a couple of ways, actually. One is personal, for sure. Seeing just time. I mean, 3 years, I don't even know. What is that? There's about 30 lectures a year. So I've done 75 lectures. Like, that's a lot of growth, and it's neat to look back on that and see how many times God showed up and helped me to present those, and just building that muscle of faith and trust that God's there with me and doing it with me. Now, the second way is really cool, is that my wife has recently stepped up to be a substitute teaching leader. So she is now in an active serving role in the women's class. So now we get to share together.
Oh my gosh.
And for our marriage and the challenges and the expectation gap that we've had, our worlds did not overlap. Hardly at all.
Of course,
for 20 years. And it's only been in the last couple of years that, now that we're both serving in BSF, we have wonderful talks about what it means to serve, and what it means to have God show up in the moment, and what it means to pursue things with excellence, and, connecting with others, and all these different ways that we see life, because we're now in a shared mission, in a shared service.
Scott, I gotta say, I'm actually jealous of that. Okay. I mean, truly, obviously she's not coming to BSF with you because you're in the guy's deal. She's in the woman's deal. And, but yet, like, you guys are doing it together, in my context with Alicia, like, she actually was, the one in ministry when I met her. She worked at our church, and, gosh, I don't know how many times I've shared this. Like, I remember dating her and sitting in the crowd at church. She's up on stage, probably giving announcements or whatever, and feeling like God was like telling me right then and there, hey, you're going to replace her someday.
Really?
Yeah, I know I've never told you this.
No,
Yeah.
you haven't told me this.
And I'm like, oh, okay, like cool. Like I didn't know what to do with that. Like that just seemed like weird and stupid. And I just stuck it in my back pocket and forgot about it. Right.
Yeah.
And, sure enough, that is what happened. Like she got sicker and sicker. She got to a point where she just couldn't work, had to go on disability. And that was like crushing for her. And then I ended up taking over for her because our pastor was like, man, I need help. I can't do this alone. I just want someone to be in this with me. Like, could you give me a few hours a week? And I was changing jobs at that point. I was working at a job where I was working 80, 90 hours a week, and I was going to a thing. It was wild. I actually needed that gig because it was like a place where I could win, right? And I was like getting fulfilled through those work wins. It was stupid. Right. It was so dumb. But I was going to a job where I'm like, I'm just going to work 40 hours. Like, that's fine. I'm not really all that passionate, right? And so I worked like 15 hours a week at our church, and but it was like, now it was me. I was helping her while it was her gig, but she really couldn't help me. I kind of did have to take over. I truly did replace her. And that as much as I was like, okay, God, that's cool. Thanks for giving me a preview years ago, but it was actually really disappointing. Like throughout my ministry career, like it's been my thing, and she hasn't really had a good way to participate. Now she supports me in real ways. She, encourages me. She's a part of it on a certain level, but like, how much can she actually do with me?
Sure.
I'm jealous of you because you guys really do that. Like I've heard the stories of how you do that.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
That's really cool.
And it's been great for our marriage. We've probably been healthier in the last couple of years in our marriage than we ever have been now that we have a shared service. And it's been really special. Yeah. Lucky
duck. That's so cool. I mean, dude, I shouldn't even say it because I have stuff that's so cool about my marriage and how she does support me and how she encourages me. Like, I'm so blessed. Like, this is wild to me that I get to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm jealous, but I'm like so fortunate. It could be way different. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Scott, you have done an excellent job today.
Thank you.
I know this is a different thing for you. You're not like the professional podcaster guy.
Nope.
But you've said everything I hoped you would say. We didn't really plan this very well. Kind of just riffed a lot of this. So I'm going to spring something on you here because I like to try to wrap this up in a fun way. Okay. And so I've done
anything else.
Yeah, of course. Like let's have some happiness here. Okay. And I kind of make it up as I go. Okay. So what I'm going to do to like bring some little fun here is, you have done a terrific job to like be a billboard, to have like a commercial for Tiller. Okay. You're a prize student here. And as you've been talking today, we started with a story about my voice. I'm just listening to this like sweet, soulful tones of Scott Hanson.
Nice.
Okay. You have such a great voice. Like you are clearly giving a great commercial for Tiller. So I'm going to have you go full send and do it. Maybe you look in this camera right here and do the commercial for Tiller. Okay. And you didn't know I was doing this. I didn't know I was doing this.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to give you the tagline to end it with. Do you remember, what is it? Hooked on Phonics. Do you remember that? That was like a thing in the 80s.
I've heard of it.
Okay. The commercials for Hooked on Phonics always ended with, Hooked on Phonics worked for me. So Tiller coaching worked for me. This is weird. I can't I should have done a funner game, but give the commercial. Like what what's worked here?
What's worked here?
What's going to work for other people?
Regardless of your situation in life, we all have expectation gaps, and we can't see those ourselves. So we need a coach. We need someone to come alongside us, reveal those gaps, work through it, process it. It's been powerful for me, and I think that's powerful for others. So, yeah, telecoaching, it's worked for me.
Beautiful. Scott, the whole thing behind it, and that's awkward. I can't believe I did that. Like, what an awkward person I am.
Hey, I'm used to it.
Yeah, I know you are.
This is what we do.
I know you are. But here's the thing, man. Like, I love that I'm not a counselor. We just did an episode with my counselor, and I love Eddie. He's a great guy. But like, counseling sometimes for guys is just uncomfortable, and you've engaged it. Like, shout out to you. You've had the courage to do that. But I love that it's something different. I love that it's a thing where it's like it feels a little bit more manly. It feels a little bit more we're in it together, and I'm not just gonna analyze you and drop the wisdom on you. Right?
I've never been able to be authentic unless it's mutual.
Yeah. Exactly. Like that's the whole thing. I love that I get to be just as authentic in some ways, like even more, like we've talked about hard and real things. I mean, both of us. And so it's just so countercultural for a guy to choose authenticity, to like walk into a relationship where we're like gonna really do it. And you did it. You didn't know Brian all that well. I mean, you reached out and it was like I could use someone to talk to, some guidance, and he referred you to a total stranger a few states away, and you had the courage to do it. And I love that it has paid off. That's why I wanted you to do the commercials, because like I want this for people, right? Like it's not about me. Like I do get a lot out of this, but it's just not about me. And, I want Tiller to grow. I want people to like be hungry for this themselves. You've been a hungry individual, and not just for crackers, my friend.
It was a start, but we've grown.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like how I brought that full circle?
I do. It's good.
All right. Thanks for engaging my awkwardness, as always.
Of course.
Scott Hanson, you have been a prized pupil. I'm so grateful. I look forward to seeing what God does in the midst of coaching for the next 3 years, or whatever it ends up being. Let's say goodbye. I haven't figured out my goodbye thing yet. I didn't know how to do it with Eddie. I don't know how to do it now. I'm going to figure that out at some point. I'm just going to kind of look at the camera and say, hey, thanks for joining us today. This has been such a fun Gapcast, and I will see you next time. How about I could do better.
We'll workshop it.
Okay, yeah. You can help me in this.
I can.
Yeah, you told me that the most authentic corner of the internet wasn't the very good. You're going to help me.
We can get there.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us.
Scott, you did it.
There we go.
How do you feel about that?
Good.
Yeah?
That was fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
You were very comfortable.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I think it's a challenge envisioning my wife and my parents sitting there and like what I say, is that going to be okay for them?
Yeah.
I think that's the part that kind of caused me to hesitate a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, it's important stuff. And I think if being authentic allows me to show up better.
Yeah.
If I'm like, this isn't a show. I'm talking about my life. I'm talking about what God has done through coaching. Like, that's valuable.
Yeah, it's amazing.